Yeah, we just couldn't deal with them inside. They made a consensus effort of attacking the paint on offense, and in the first half, we made some threes, and it offset the the fact that we were getting outplayed in the paint. And then the second half, we shot 12% from the field, and so we couldn't offset all the lack of production in the paint offensively and defensively, because it wasn't just them driving the ball and scoring it. We couldn't come up with the ball, and we got beat to loose balls. We got beat to the offensive glass. Anderson Garcia, huge. His personality on this team was clear as day today. He started. I think he had 3 offensive rebounds in the first 5 possessions of the game. He created the personality that how the game evolved, and whoever wins the paint wins the game. And they dominated the paint. We had no answer there.
All right, we'll take your questions just for the student athletes at this time. If you have a question, raise your hand, and we'll get a floor mic to you. We'll start on the right side.
For both the players, just what are the emotions like right now, coming off that win, and I'm coming off the loss, and just what do you view, going forward for this team, NIT, all of that kind of stuff?
Say it again.
Just what are the emotions right now coming off of this, and what's kind of your view going forward with the NIT or whatever might be next for you guys?
Just everybody just down right now, but I feel like we got to see what happened on Sunday, see if we can play again.
Same for Erik.
Yeah, man, I mean, emotions are obviously down right now. Some guys, could possibly be, James Reese's last game of his college career. So, he's obviously feeling it right now. Could be last game of, a couple guys' careers in that locker room. So it's a tough moment. It's a tough way to go out. But like Jermaine said, we're gonna try and stay optimistic, and hopefully Sunday night we'll see our name on the NIT board somewhere, and go from there.
All right, raise your hand if you have other questions. All right, let's go to the right side in the middle.
For both of y'all, just offensive consistency has been an issue all year. When this offense isn't clicking like it wasn't tonight, especially in the second half, what's going wrong for you guys, especially in the backcourt?
I mean, it's the ball's not dropping. Guys' individual confidence levels go down, and when those confidence levels go down, then the team camaraderie goes down, and team energy and the team moxie and all those things start to drop. And so, and when you're getting killed in the paint like that, it's just deflating, and so, we got some open looks and didn't shoot some open looks, and when we got some open looks, we didn't convert, 12%, and, second half crunch time is not going to get it done. So, yeah, just it's a bad offensive night.
Same for Jermaine. Did you want the same question for Jermaine? You're good? Okay. Let's go to the back in the aisle.
Y'all on a run, cut a 10-point deficit down to 3. Keyshawn had the dunk and missed. How did that play change the game? What did y'all feel after that? Either one.
Which one?
Whoever wants to answer.
Well, you call a player. Okay, Erik.
Yeah, man, that would have been huge. I think we were down 3 at that point, or 5 at that point, something like that. Got a turnover. Had the most athletic guy maybe in the league on the break, and he couldn't convert. And then I think they came down and had an and one. That's a 4 or 5 point swing right there. Instead of cutting it to a one possession game, it went back to a 2 possession game. And I'm not saying that should have led to a 22-point loss, but it did. So it was a big play in the game, and it is what it is.
We've got time for one more question for either. All right, let's take the last one right here on the front row.
For both of Jermaine and Erik, I mean, this is a question I'll ask for Frank, but I mean, obviously a team that you guys had an opportunity to play twice this season. Was there anything differently that they showed, especially as the game went on? I'm sure you would say, you know, mainly from an execution standpoint, but were they doing anything different than you guys maybe expected?
I just feel like they beat us to every loose ball, so that's what they did differently. So they just played hard and just rebound and beat us to every loose ball.
Yeah, he hit it on the head, man. They obviously they annihilated us in the paint, 42-16 in the paint. But yeah, it was the hustle plays for me, 50-50s, offensive rebounding. You know, when you get beat like that in the paint, you have no chance to win, and that's their MO. You know, they got two really good bigs, and they showed it tonight.
Thank you. We'll excuse the players. You can return to the locker room. And we'll continue on with Coach Martin. So if you have a question for Coach, raise your hand, and we'll get a microphone to you. Okay, let's start on the right side in the back.
Frank, you ever sat through a worse 20 minutes in your coaching career, both in terms of offensive performance, defensive performance, the whole ball of wax?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think our effort was bad. I mean, they did shoot 39% from the field. I mean, it's not like we didn't defend. We started fouling them too much towards the latter part of the second half. You know, but offensively, I was disappointed in some of the shots we took. I thought, you know, the question that was asked earlier about Keyshawn's play, that wasn't the only one. It was I want to say, I mean, I'm going off the top of my head here, but there was about a 5-6 possession segment where we go Keyshawn breakaway, Devin creates a steal. We end up Devin and Jermaine in a 2-on-1. Jermaine decides to shoot an off the dribble three in the open court, and then Devin comes down and makes a great pass to James Reese, and he's got a wide open three, and he don't let it go, and instead he passes it to Brandon, and Brandon shoots an air ball. Those are three really deflating plays. You know, and you know, you say, well, Jermaine makes that off the dribble three. Yeah, he does. But when you're in a 2-on-1, you got to go get the rim, and that's not the time for that shot. But that's, you know, players make decisions. It's you know, as coaches, it's our job to trust in them that they're going to make the decisions, and you know, they're human beings. Sometimes they make good decisions, sometimes they don't. It's part of the deal. But I've never been on a team that shot 12% for a half. That's first for me, and you know, and I'm gonna use this moment to kind of answer Mike's question from earlier. Our deficiencies offensively all year comes from when teams hound us hard on the perimeter, and Mississippi State's got size and athleticism on the perimeter, so people get after us on the perimeter, and anytime you're playing basketball, if people are going to hound you on the perimeter, you got to get the ball inside the defense in the paint, and that's been our weak point all year. Is we can't score in the paint, and we've done different things to get the ball in there this year, and in the games where we can create paint, not touches because we get paint touches, but paint points, we've won. In the games that we haven't, we don't win. But yeah, it's hard to win. And you know, shooting 12%, and by the way, Tolu Smith there's a reason he was a preseason first-team All-League player, and he's been battling injuries all year. Now he's played for the last 10 games, I want to say 8 maybe, and so he's a handful, and he created major problems for us.
Raise your hand if you have other questions. All right, let's go to the middle on the right side.
Frank, too, if you were given a bid to the NIT, would you take it? And I guess this is now 3 of the 4 tournaments that they've had, you've not made it. Just how frustrating is that, and what's kind of the message to the team? To the
3 of those, say that again.
3 of the last 4 tournaments, or 4 of the last 5 tournaments that have been played you haven't been to. Just what's the frustration level like?
What tournament are you talking about?
The NCAA
Oh,
tournament.
because we're in the SEC tournament
Right,
now.
no, the NCAA tournament. Just how frustrating is that, and kind of what's the message to the fans or the team coming up that knowing you're not going to probably go to the NCAAs this year?
Yeah, no, I don't see how we make the NCAA tournament this year. It's we we had opportunities, obviously, tonight at Alabama and at Auburn, and we went 0-3 in those games. And, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we're a winning basketball team. And disappointed, but then again, the journey for every team's a little different. And a couple years ago, we had rebuilt post-Final Four our team to get ready to make a run, and obviously the season was canceled. And then last year, I'm not going to keep talking about last year, just what kind of show that whole deal was last year. And then this year, we had 9 first-year guys, and we figured out a way to win the games that we did and put ourselves in a place where we're playing meaningful games at this time of year, and games with purpose. And unfortunately, I think we came up a little short there. But I'd love to coach again. I've enjoyed coaching, being around. That's the thing that hurts the most right now, is that these kids, they gave me life when I was dead. And I don't want to stop. I want to keep coaching them. So hopefully, this is the one thing that I will say, and I'm not going to get into all the this and that and all that other stuff. I have a tough time believing that the 6th place team in the SEC, who's got the same exact record as us and Mississippi State, can be a 5 or 6 seed in the NCAA tournament, but the 7, 8, and 9 teams don't play postseason. I'd struggle with that one. That'd be a confusing thing for me. But for whatever that's worth.
Other questions? Let's go to the front row.
Frank, I know you might, just to piggyback off that, I know you might not necessarily want to talk about this specifically, but this might be the only chance we have a chance to talk to you until Sunday. Obviously a disappointing loss in the committee when they make that decision for the NIT. What would you tell them? Obviously the resume speaks for itself, the 9-9 in the conference specifically, but what would you kind of say? Because I'm sure some fans, people on the outside, maybe people that don't make those decisions, they look at today and they're like, so what would you say to those people?
Mike, I tried to express this the other day, and I've called. I don't say stuff publicly that I disagree with unless I speak with the people that are responsible for it first. I don't call people out. It's not what I do. So when I spoke about the net the other day, I had already made comments privately to the decision makers in the NCAA. The team sports are about winning and losing. It's about who you play and where you play, period. End of story. You either play good teams or you play bad teams. Some people play bad teams. You play bad teams, you're probably going to win. Well, those shouldn't count as much as when you play good teams. And it gets back to what I just explained. I think we've with this game today, we're going to end up with a top 30 strength of schedule in the country. That means we played good teams. When you take into consideration that, and then you couple the fact that we challenged our team in non-league play. I mean, we went and played at Coastal Carolina. We went and played in a tournament away. We played Florida State on a neutral site. I could have just played bye games at home. I could have just picked certain teams and played them at home. We didn't have to play those games. After the year we had last year, I could have said, let's just play home games and let's get as many wins as we can. That's not what I do, never has been, never will be. It's not the right thing to do. So we scheduled to prepare our team to win in the SEC. And that's why when, a lot of people thought that our guys were going to throw in the towel, we battled and battled and battled and got back to a place where we finished tied for 5th in the league. And I said this the other day, too. I think it's pretty sad where, because I've been in other leagues. I've been in the Big East, been in Conference USA, been in the Big 12. And, and I was in the Big East when it was the old Big East with 19 teams or whatever we had in there. When you finish 500 in that league back then, your team was celebrated. I've been in the Big 12 where teams finished 500 and they were celebrated. For whatever reason here, we always have to apologize for being 500 in the #1 league in the country. That doesn't make sense to me. I think Calipari said it best the other day, and it's not about going to the NCAA tournament. All these teams that finished 9-9, this league has got no bottom, man. It's really, really hard. But I mean, if decisions are made based on the net, then we probably ain't going, because that means that it's style and point differential. Like like I'm gonna give you a quick example. I'm sorry, I'm dragging. I don't mean to, but we beat LSU, who's got a net of 19. Our number moved up one spot because we won by 2. We beat Mississippi State, whose net at the time was 48 or 49, beat them by 10. Our net moved up 9 points. Now, you tell me that makes sense. You tell me that makes any sense. At the end of the day, you either win or lose. This isn't gymnastics. This isn't diving where the guy that does or the woman that does a triple somersault has more points because of degree of difficulty than the one that does 2 somersaults. At the end of the day, you either play a good team or you don't. If you play a good team, you either win or you lose. And, it's I'm really proud of these kids and what they've done. 2 years ago, we won 10 league games. The league was really hard. This year, we won 9, broke 500. We're right there. We just, unfortunately, this didn't go the right way tonight.
Got time for one or more, maybe 2? Anybody? All right, let's go to the left side front.
Frank, forgive me for coming off beat question. Conzo Martin, his future's a little uncertain. You've always spoken really highly of him, seem to admire him a lot. What's he meant for the league? What kind of coach is he for this conference?
Yeah, I'd be disappointed. Last time I checked, they went to the NCAA tournament last year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what this business is coming to when men like him get questioned on what they can and can't do and get judged this year in this league coming off the year he had last year. Now, we got major issues in this business. If somebody that had that team top 20 in the country pretty much all season last year and went to the NCAA tournament, we got issues in this business, and he is the man that he is. That's about making things right, improving people's lives. When's the last time you read about Conzo Martin's teams in any kind of negative connotation? You're not. When's the last time you read a player for Conzo Martin in any kind of negative connotation? You're not. And he just came off an NCAA tournament, and people start talking like that. That's sad. That's this business isn't right if that's the way we go. I'm biased because I just got to know him really good over the last 3 years. And we've always known each other, respected each other, but it all started with the NABC board, and then during COVID, just a lot of conversations, and this business needs more Conzo Martins. It needs a lot less of some of the nonsense that it has, and a lot of the buffoonery and the silliness and the phoniness that exists. It needs more Conzo Martins. If you got more Conzo Martins in this business, then college basketball can get back to being great again.
We'll take the last question on the right. Go ahead.
If this was your last game, and you know who's coming back next year, perhaps maybe the bulk of your players, with what you've got coming in, I mean, what kind of feeling do you personally have about next year to maybe, elevate another couple of positions and not be on the bubble, but be in the tournament at this time of the year?
Yeah, Phil, I think our team's in a great place right now with the guys that are in place, that are returning players. I mean, obviously the 2 guys that were here, they walked on senior day just to make sure that they had a senior day. But I don't know. We got to have a conversation when we get back. But I'm under the impression those 2 guys want to come back and play next year. But those are conversations. You don't have those as a coach and a player. You don't have those conversations in February. You don't have those conversations in March. You're trying to win games. You're trying to get to the postseason. Now the season ended. Now it turns to individual stuff. But we've signed some really good players. We obviously signed 2, and there's one that I can't talk about right now that's a really good basketball player. And then you have to rely on what my career has shown people is that I tend to help players get better. So all the guys that are in our program take a step forward and improve. And so I'm excited. I'm excited. I couldn't be happier than what I am right now, and I'm excited for all those guys. I'm excited for what our team can be next year. And before if I don't say this, I'd punch myself in the face. Big shout out to Bruce Weber. I think he is one of the classiest men and one of the good people in this business. And I tried to win a Big 12 championship in that league. he won 2 of them. That thing is really hard over there. So big shout out to Bruce. This business needs Conzo and needs Bruce Weber in it. Thank you.
Thank you.